Hey guys, what's up? It's King Christo here, and with the GPU mining craze lately, it's been very difficult to build a budget PC with a dedicated graphics card. I mean, if I'm going to be honest, I haven't been able to make any pre-built PC in parallel videos for just this reason. But needless to say, Ryzen Raven Ridge APUs have finally been released for a gamer on the budget, or anyone who needs something better than Intel's integrated on a budget, and it's definitely a very valid choice. So for now, I'm going to share with you what I would suggest in terms of parts for your next Ryzen APU PC build under $500. Now for the CPU in the build, I had to go with the Ryzen 5 2400G. For the price of $170, the specs on this thing are awesome. You get a full quad-core CPU with hyperthreading making up for 8 threads, which is definitely what games today will be able to utilize. These cores have a base clock of 3.6 GHz and a max turbo of 3.9 GHz, and can be overclocked even further. Also, it is within the AM4 platform, which should last until 2020. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the CPU has a pretty good integrated GPU. Specifically, this model has the Vega 11 integrated graphics. It's named Vega 11 for the 11 compute units that it has. It performs very similar to a GT 1030, which normally would add another $70 to $100 to the price of your build. So needless to say, this would be able to play a lot of games at 1080p and maybe some AAA titles at 720p without needing a dedicated graphics card. This is perfect for someone who wants to get a dedicated graphics card in the future when new products are released or prices go down for now from the GPU mining craze, but for now just need something to hold them off. I chose the ASRock AB350M Pro 4 for the motherboard. This isn't really a surprise since it made it into my best hardware of 2017 video. Needless to say, it's a micro ATX board which offers all the essentials. For example, M.2 NVMe support, more than one PCIe slot, pretty good VRM heatsinks and power delivery, and supports our Ryzen 5 2400G after a BIOS update. Also, the board has a full 4 slots of RAM, which is important for future upgradability and is a feature many other micro ATX B350 motherboards lack. And finally, the board looks pretty clean with a mostly neutral color scheme. For the RAM, I went with 8GB of Team Vulkan. This kit has a fairly neutral heatsink, which is good as there isn't any green PCB to clash with the rest of the build, but is also quite low profile if you want to add a larger heatsink later down the road. It also runs at 3000 MHz, which is quite high speed, and is a dual channel kit which has been proven to work very well with Ryzen in games. Although this kit is dual channel, if you prefer single channel to have more upgradability to 32GB in the future, well, you do you, but for specifically performance, this is the best you will get. Also, not to mention, this RAM is under $100. For the hard drive, I suggest a Western Digital Blue 1TB hard drive. This drive runs at 7200 RPM and has 64 MB of cache. I never recommend getting a hard drive with any lower than these specs, as loading up games off of say a 5400 RPM drive for example can be a huge pain. Also, Western Digital is pretty reliable for the most part, and a lot of people I've helped have not had complaints. Next up for the case, I added the Thermaltake Versa H15. Although the layout on the inside is not the prettiest, for example it doesn't have a PSU shroud or any of those nice RGB features, it has no side panel window, so in the end that doesn't really matter. It is also made to house a micro ATX board, which is nice because the system shouldn't feel awkward to build in with the micro ATX board I added to this build. Overall, it has a pretty minimalist design with plenty of ventilation via the mesh up front, and for the price of just $40, I'm not sure if there is a better buy. For the final part, I added the Seasonic M12II 520W power supply. I've added this to numerous build guides before, and for good reason. I've never heard a complaint come back from anyone I've helped before, and Seasonic itself makes their own power supplies, unlike a lot of other companies who rebrand an OEM. Also, the power supply is bronze certified and fully modular, meaning it should be quite efficient, and cable management shouldn't be too difficult. I hope everyone enjoyed my build guide featuring the Ryzen 5 2400G APU under $500 and maybe learned a thing or two. I want to give a huge shout out to my Discord, the link is down below. If you're an active subscriber and haven't joined already, I really suggest that you do. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like it, share it with friends, and even consider subscribing. Without further ado, this is King Christo signing off, and peace out.